Yeah. All right. Hello, I'm Max Temkin.
I hope this sounds pretty good.
Hey, welcome to Back to the Island. I got something to say. New York City, we're going to have a live episode taping Friday, April 25th at Union Hall in Brooklyn. We're going to be hanging out, watching Season 3 episode Stranger in a Strange Land, and then discussing it live on stage. Friday, April 25th, 7 p.m. Get your tickets at unionhall.com.
Unionhallny.com.
Unionhallny.com. Also, here comes an episode where you're going to listen to it right now. All the best cowboys have daddy issues. Episode 11, Season 1. Let's do it.
Things are moving really, really fast.
So much groundwork. I feel pretty confident saying we're going to
Back to the island.
You feel good about that?
Back to the island.
We have to be
The island that was alive.
trying to describe it in a vague way. There is something that happened at the very end of this episode. Do not call it.
That was very good. You ready to get into it?
We don't know
I don't
that
know
yet.
what it is.
Okay.
There is a way that you would describe.
All right. Welcome to Back to the Island.
Give away too much.
Episode. That was a nice shot of your crotch for a second there, Chris. Thank you for
that. I thought of
that.
that as I was looking at like questions and analysis because everyone uses the term.
Yep.
Well, you still have a crotch when you have pants on.
We'll get to that. All right. Well, let's see.
Yes, all the best cowboys have daddy issues, and just right off the bat, I told you this was going to be something amazing.
I think so.
I think it's something amazing. Do yourself a favor, if you're listening, go over to Google and start slowly typing in all the best cowboys have daddy issues. Chris, do it with me, all right?
Desperately waiting for next week's podcast. What happened?
Did you hear me?
Love freaking out, desperately waiting in New York City. We're sorry.
New
I think
tab.
it was Seth Boyer, a musician friend of mine in Seattle, said when I saw him at PAX,
All the
hey, really enjoy
best
your guys' podcast. It's my favorite
cowboys
bi-weekly Lost podcast.
What else comes up?
Have Chinese
Well, we decided to go even more
eyes.
niche. It's like,
What is
not
that?
weekly.
I don't know, it's a
Who
song.
is
We're
this?
really stretching
Who's this
out.
guy? It's a
23
Pete
episodes per
Townsend
season.
song.
Yeah.
I think we're okay. I think we're be able to go more regularly.
It's a record?
Something, of course, will probably.
Well, I'm going to the review. It's a 4.5 star reviewed record
So our most
on
biggest complaint about the show has been
on
that we don't
allmusic.com.
exactly know how to record audio in a good
from Rolling
so
Stones.
we have all of our
This kind of
audio
record
stuff from,
taunts
like,
critics
Max and all the
and
conventions
cynics,
sitting in the office, so I
being
rigged
nearly
up the
impenetrable in its
soundboard and
content,
two
even if the
wireless
production and the
rods,
music itself
trying to-
aren't all that accessible. How
professional.
that title
Professional, so long as
seems
it works, like
very
the equipment's
racist.
professional.
Is
I
that
don't know, I see a
not?
lot
Does
of blinking
feel
red lights.
racist.
Yeah, things,
And I
It
think
feels
things are
that
being
way.
recorded.
That seems good.
My name's Chris Farron.
I'm Jeff Rosenstock. We got a special guest in the house today.
I'm Tim. I'm Tim Daniels.
Tim Daniels. I almost blew it today.
Greetings,
Yeah,
boys.
all the best
As a
cowboys
huge
have
Lost
daddy
fan, I was
issues.
very happy to
Yeah,
find
so
your
before
podcast
we went
recently.
into this,
That said,
I was
finished
told
listening to Confidence Man,
that this
and I
was
have
going to
say
be
I
a
was disappointed in your
Kate-centric
lack of-
episode,
the lack
and I was
in
so
your
excited.
I
was very excited, and I had a bunch of things to talk about.
Theme of
And
missing
then
body parts.
I started watching it, and about 20 minutes in,
we
I was
had
like,
to be-
Kate hasn't even been in this
we had
episode
to be-
yet.
Okay.
It's during that first Jack flashback. Me and Tim both looked at each other. We're like,
not knowing who the others
it's a Kate
are at this point.
it's a
like you're
Jack
not doing your
episode.
homework.
Yeah.
The information is out there. You just have to read up on it.
But that's what you
Given
get
that
for
you've
planning
no doubt watched
ahead.
the entire
Also,
6 seasons, it's kind of a big
there was a
point to
delightful
err on.
pun in the
Some
next
things might be
episode
open to
title,
interpretation, but
which
some
was
like this.
what was it?
Yeah, I think it's called Whatever the Case May
Nevertheless, I'm enjoying
Be.
the program. Keep
Right?
up the
Or
interesting
something
work.
like that.
Ron.
And
So let's
the
see.
description was about
here's the
how
deal.
Sawyer
especially in
and Jack
spoiler
are
chat,
fighting
we have
over
been
an actual
getting into
briefcase,
all of the crazy you've lost and
the contents
backstory
of
and
which
stuff.
are unknown.
And we
I
almost
have gone
switched to
online
that
and I've
episode
read
because the
everything
pun
there
was
is
so
to
good.
all
And
the
that
crazy
episode
Lost
is a
series,
Kate
and I still
episode.
have no clue what's
Oh,
going on.
good
It's still
lord.
Extremely impenetrable and dense.
Puns
So I don't know
and
how to-
It's very
Kate,
easy
you
to
would have had it all.
forget some of
Both
that
things.
stuff. Like part
Both
of the fun
things
of
that
this
Lost
and
is
the reason
famous
why we
for.
hate everything done the spoiler
Puns
parts is like,
and Kate.
oh, right, like I don't remember a show
Kate-
that I was so obsessed about.
Last
knew
name?
front to back.
Sawyer? No.
I
Kate
very
Austin?
quickly
Kate
over the
Austin?
years,
Kate
like,
Sawyer.
Kate Sawyer.
we didn't know.
Is it Kate
Well,
Austin?
No, it's Kate
rewatching
Jack.
The first season again is
Kate
you know,
Echo.
It's like I do know how some of these
What is her
plots resolve. And I don't.
I want to say it's
Austin.
Austin.
That sounds like it might be a bag designer or something.
Yeah. Connects to that, and they're laying.
I know Kate Spade is a bag designer. I'm not a big dummy, but Kate Austin might be a lesser.
Who's Jane Austen? That's an author.
Encyclopedia show. Like I would say.
I think that's just something in your imagination. I think I've never heard that name in my life.
To talk about it and hang out. So perhaps
no, it's like Texas. Jane Austen, Texas. Anyway, it's Kate Austin. Austin spelled much like Jane Austen.
I don't mean to make fun of him, but I really enjoy the fact that he used
I've heard of Jane Austen.
It makes us
surprise. Our phones are making crazy noises against the things.
Podcast. It's a lost program.
Yeah, well, we do have a soundboard now. So
all right, and just like every episode that we watched, the previously on Lost just looks like the best episode. Every single episode we watch, it's like that looks like such a cool episode.
It looked great. It looked really great.
In the context of
I think all the episodes look great if you condense them all into 30 to 45 seconds.
Because the premise.
I thought that the intensity of them trying to find Charlie and Claire was really high. They're like, let's go now! It's gotta be now! And then once they realized
everywhere.
Well, but I mean, fair enough. It seemed like
there's a pregnant lady and a heroin addict missing.
Yeah. Flipping the script on Lost. And having Jack killed off very early and Kate becomes
it's too late.
You had a good look there.
Even now, but especially back when Lost.
People are really going to respond to my facial expression.
Podcasters take note.
Just imagine if they didn't mention that at all and release the game.
Locke shushes Jack at a point.
Oh yeah, so Jack. Yeah, so they're going through the woods.
And I think.
Okay, yeah. Let's do this with the plot because I'm just
the idea of like rather than trying to actually.
I'm just going through this thing.
Yeah,
I thought it was fine. This is a fine episode of Lost.
Yeah, it's good.
We got pizza in the middle of it. That was real good.
And mozzarella sticks. Chris, you blew it.
Of a Lost video game.
I know. I wish I were there so much.
What'd you eat today? An orange? Fucking grapefruit.
Just orange.
LucasArts scum face and then like create.
What were you saying about the app?
Oh, okay. So it starts with Claire's missing, right? Basically,
she's not
Lost.
Claire's missing, Charlie's missing. Where are they? Everybody's freaking out. Everyone is sprinting everywhere they go. Jack is in the woods alone at one point, just sprinting to tree, looking at the trees like an idiot. But yeah, so Jack and Locke go out like with each other to find them. And then
two people who you despise.
Oh God, I wrote Jack and Locke are the two biggest posers in the world right here.
You hate the two main characters on Lost.
I hate them so much.
But did you hate them the whole time you were watching?
I don't remember. I don't think I ever even.
Hey, you know what, Ron? I don't know if you've been listening to the whole show, but sometimes we get corrected in those people wrong. We decided at this point to just cast aside all aspersions.
Sorry for interrupting.
Or that our readers are correct.
Yeah.
No, it'll be a while before I get to that.
That's fair.
We listen to the gut.
Okay, but so yeah, then
I want this episode to just be you talking for 40 minutes. All right.
And send us feedback as well.
Okay, so yeah, and then Jack just starts screaming
that we never write down
like
on the sheet.
Claire! And then all of a sudden Locke like, oh, I know what's going on because I know everything all the time.
Okay. Maybe we'll get some of those in at the end.
He says, certainly feels like it was Ethan, doesn't it? What? The fuck?
Patrick was able to track down...
Like, there's polar bears and boars and shit on this. Like, there's crazy stuff happening all over this island.
Yeah,
feels like Ethan.
Man.
Infamous.
Just because he looked kind of weird.
He does look kind of weird.
It looks like someone hit him in the face with a piece of wood.
Much like he probably would have to Jack if he had a piece of wood.
That is some Dave Coulier style punning.
Hey, I learned from the best.
They would premiere
Ray Coulier.
First episode in
Dave
Hawaii
Coulier's
to an audience
nephew.
Ahead of the actual premiere on BBC.
Ethan ends up being fine, right? Does Ethan end up being a nice guy in this show? And he explains it. He's just like, oh yeah, Claire was pregnant, so I wanted to give her some medicine.
Detailed summary of the first episode several days ahead of the actual proper premiere.
Probably. Yeah, I remember they make their amends. I feel like I see them in street clothes, shaking hands with Ethan at one point.
Street
in the future,
in the future, or in the sideways,
like this for all sorts of different properties, and
it's all the sideways. You know what I mean?
Great. Really think about it.
That's like his main thing he does. He plays poker professionally.
So anyway, what else happened to this episode, Chris?
Okay,
so they're in the woods.
So they're running around in the woods, and all of a
lost fandom. If you wanted to go to the dark side, which I think you've mentioned that you have
an episode of ER
for a while, in which you wanted to know casting
and Jack and Jack's
that were going to be in the show.
Dad
are
operating on
what the
a
finale
woman who just got in a car
ahead
accident.
of them
and
actually
Jack's
premiering.
dad is
Dark UFO became the
wasted.
place.
He's drunk.
I didn't think he seemed wasted.
He didn't seem drunk at all to me. I was like,
seemed totally fine.
Jack, chill out.
I don't know the warning signs to look for in Christian Shepherd.
Exactly what was getting out there.
Yeah.
And it would still get
well,
out
that
there,
you're so okay.
I'm not.
I was going to be like, what about there's a difference between drunk enough and being able to handle surgery and being drunk. But yeah, you probably shouldn't be drunk at all.
Jack's also a surgeon, and he was like, "Oh, I see. You cut that poor lady's artery."
Candy artery, right?
What's that?
Candy artery, was it?
Candy artery.
Yes.
Candied artery. And I think that's how Jack knew he was drunk. We were not privy to that information because they didn't get a shot into the lady's guts.
But also not entirely hard to imagine.
Well, and also if the other surgeons called Jack in, which we learned later on, why did the other surgeons take the knives and tools away from Jack's dad to be like, hey man, back off, we don't want her to die. They're just like, whoa, we don't know what we could possibly do here.
Scared.
They're all scared of Christian Shepherd. Is that his name? Am I getting it?
I think so,
yeah. Yeah.
My least favorite character in all of Lost.
Did they ever explain? This might be better for unanswered questions.
I've probably got the cheapest set of headphones and microphone possible here, so it might sound a bit.
But did they ever explain?
Fine.
Christian Shepherd?
Super appreciate you taking a couple minutes of your time.
He's a big jerk.
But he hangs out with
big mean jerk.
He hangs out with Jacob and stuff.
Yeah, no.
But isn't that just like a projection of Jack's biggest fear or something?
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what's happening.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is probably. All right.
My friend Max Temkin.
I forgot what it was.
Andy and I are kind of running through the series again, given that it's kind of 10 years later.
Okay.
And we just wanted
fucking Shannon
to watch
first of all,
Shannon. We had a legitimate reason
sidebar
to do
here.
So.
I was talking to Tim Daniels about this.
When we were trying to come up with folks that we wanted to talk to.
We should, because how many episodes do you think are Shannon episodes?
The person behind Dark UFO was definitely at the top of the list.
She was only in the first season, right?
Max and I,
so she like 2 or 3 episodes. We should watch them all back to back to back and just get it out of the way.
The story of Shannon.
The story of Shannon.
Feature-length Shannon
was going to Dark UFO every single day.
Oh my lord!
As soon as
how do you feel about that, Chris?
Yeah, we can watch them on Halloween.
So why don't we start with sort of the
good one, Chris. Nailed it again.
Find themselves in the business.
We're doing this podcast awful close to the date when it's coming out. Is there anything topical we should talk about? How about the Final Four?
It was totally by accident.
What's in the news?
I was just some random.
What's in the news?
England too.
Yes, I hear sports are in the news this week.
Letterman,
American Treasure, retiring.
Oh man,
yeah.
Which one of the 3 of us do you think is going to take over?
About halfway through.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Your season 1, as it was.
I love David Letterman so much.
I didn't know what spoilers were.
I love him too. He's my favorite guy ever. And you know what I love? I love that every article.
I was
it's like, hey, David Letterman's retiring, and he's great.
Season 1 finished.
Now let's not get some goddamn white man to host his show anymore.
What was happening in season 2?
That's every article I've read.
Really?
True, yeah.
And,
which is true. Like, this is an excellent opportunity for diversity, but they're not even
not
even letting him just kind of like ride off into the sunset.
It's not his fault that all the other talk show hosts are white males too. He's like the oldest one out of all of them right now.
Yeah.
He was literally grandfathered in.
It's amazing how many of those kinds of websites we've gone through.
Seth Meyers shit when he took over.
Yeah.
Late night with
really.
Yeah, so that
I don't know.
Gave us a huge.
Wow. All I'm saying is, look, David Letterman. You talk about David Letterman, and then when he retires in a year, then yell at CBS when they inevitably just get some boring white guy.
Give it a month. Give it a month to start talking about it. Be like, the search is on.
Yeah, let's get some top 10 best David Letterman moments before we're getting all these. I hate everything.
I liked in the 90s when Megadeth played on David Letterman, and for like a week he was building up to it, and it would say like Mega Dave.
I remember that.
That was my favorite one.
From Hawaii.
Tim?
Which was the
I like when he worked at the McDonald's in the drive.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
That was a good one too. Chris,
I guess it's kind of recent, but that video of the compilation of him asking the drummer of every band if those are their drums or not. It's just the best.
I then posted that. I think it was on the internet.
That is really good.
How I Met Your Mother ended.
It's quite funny looking back at those reactions.
This is a terrible. I'm gonna cut you right there. Let's get back to Lost. So Shannon, when talking about how like she's mad that Boone wants to go look for these people who got abducted, and she goes, "There's no Amber Alerts." Does she know what an Amber Alert fucking is?
Well, I guess there's a baby involved.
But so I started a spoiler section of the.
Got me again, Shannon. Yeah, there's two recurring themes that I noticed at the beginning of this, which is that Shannon is just awful, and Michael is an awful father, terrible father.
He's not. He's unsure, man. He just got custody of Walt, or he just met Walt, right?
Yeah, they're on like a trip, a bonding experience trip, like their first in many years or ever, something like that.
Yeah, but be an adult about it. You got a kid. You're on a desert island. Don't just keep telling the kid he's an idiot.
Yeah, and just leaving him alone.
I don't care what you do.
Hurley's got the best island life out of all of them.
Hurley looks like he's ready for the island.
Yeah.
He looks like fucking Marlon Brando.
And nobody ever makes him do anything dangerous. They're
Marlon Brando on The Simpsons.
Hey, you're not going to be any help. Stay here and play backgammon with the children.
And lose.
Yeah, and like, and we all like you. We're not even going to ask anything of you.
And when he says he wants to help, they're like, well, I don't know, Hurley. Maybe you should stay back.
Yeah, that's the role I would want.
And that was the name.
I wrote down, where did Locke get a crazy safari jacket? And then I just remembered he was going on a safari. That's like where he was going.
You could actually make something.
I mean, this is all just.
How far did this go into the realm?
Oh, that would have been another good ending if this was the walkabout.
Was this something you were always doing on the
if
side?
The whole
at night,
all of Lost
scraping it together.
was Locke's walkabout.
It started off.
That the real deal with it is that they tell you can't go on the walkabout, and then you end up on a walkabout on a mystery island.
Oh, that is cool.
As the
like the game, the game situation.
We were getting sort of millions. Of
can you even spoil the game? The game has had happened so many times that you think you know what's up, and you're like, it's still a game.
Yeah, exactly. You can't spoil the game.
Yeah, have you not seen it?
No.
On the verge of retirement.
Oh, the game is great. It's great. We didn't spoil it. It's just crazy.
Cool.
So it
Sounds great.
David Fincher's first flick.
Oh, I like him. He did,
Panic Room, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
So it worked very well.
You know the hits.
But yeah, I mean,
are Jack's flashbacks happening? And
the last couple of
is everybody's flashbacks on the show happening in real time? Because there's a flashback where Jack just starts staring off, and then the scene with him and his dad happens, and then Locke goes and be like, "Hey man, you've been staring off for a few minutes. What's up?"
Yeah, he just pauses for 2 minutes and thinks about something, and everyone's like, "What's going on?"
Up till that moment,
yeah, what's he thinking? Everybody just stands still while they have their flashbacks. And is he thinking of his flashback, or are they doing that just to let us know?
I think it's for us.
I think his actions are informed by what has transpired in that memory or in memories like that. But we're privy to the story.
What was that like for you?
How so in this episode?
Section.
Yeah, it was quite strange.
I don't know.
I've never
like
the more his dad or something in this episode. Oh no, it's he feels responsible.
Charlie at the end.
And I'd never.
Yeah, but he works really hard to save Charlie's life, but
really had the concept of it.
Look, I don't know.
Like he doesn't.
Man, I don't know.
Look, all these movies and TV shows, especially when it's explicitly stated like this, and it's like, this is about daddy issues. I'm always just like, okay, the writers are working through something right now.
I thought this one was about Chinese eyes. I got it confused.
Yeah, you got it all confused.
I got it all confused.
Save that for your Pete Townsend.
Somebody starts this at 20 minutes, they're going to think we're talking about some questionable stuff. Somebody doesn't Google like we asked them to. You'll be like, what the hell is happening? What the hell? Oh God! All right, anybody else talk?
Okay, so he does another flashback after Shannon is talking and Jack is sprinting everywhere. When Jack confronts his dad about the drunk surgery.
So it was like a perfect storm.
Christian Shepherd says a couple things that were just kind of bizarre to me.
Before then, I had no
this procedure, this emergency procedure. And then he also said, "I was at a restaurant having lunch."
Oh yes. What was?
I guess.
Oh, and then so then we flash back. He confronts him, and then he convinces him. To sign the thing.
I mean,
Jack's like
it wasn't the be all and end all, but it's quite.
Well, to his dad, like. After what good is going to come of it? Is he going to bring the fucking kid back to life? No, he just wants his dad to not have his life ruined. And his dad says, "I'm not going to do it again." And you know, how alcoholics are when they say that. They never do it again. Everything's fine. It's all roses and everything works out.
Be surprised when it aired.
Yeah, okay, so they don't need people coming down on them. Yeah, family and loved ones.
Second guess what was going on. Seeing their theories validated with spoilers.
Okay, so then
because what?
Oh, sorry.
What would Christian do if not a doctor?
I don't know. He's old enough. He could retire.
Is he old enough? He's just got gray hair.
Yeah, everybody with gray hair should retire.
I saw on when I was.
What about Steve Martin?
Dark UFO this morning.
What about
he's always
Steve fucking Martin?
TV.
I don't want him to retire. He should take over for Letterman.
Yeah, he should. But then it's like, you're replacing one guy with another guy that's going to want to do it for like a year.
Kind of totally down with having a talk show that every 5 years the host is like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I think
sorry,
Steve Martin should have been on Lost.
Like the middle of season
3,
he
was.
in the middle of the,
maybe
the longest
if he played Christian Shepherd, wouldn't be my least favorite character in all of Lost.
What if he played Christian Shepherd, acted exactly the way this guy acts playing Christian Shepherd?
I find his mere presence to be delightful.
Yeah, he would have been. He would have made it funny. He would have made it awesome.
Slowly sort of compiled a team of people who were.
You like how Charlie changed his knuckles and said hate to late?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
I don't know.
Try to replicate
it a
little bit.
I don't know.
Why did they say hate in the first place?
Oh, he's a rock star. He's got, I think he had like love on one and hate on the other or something. Or
that's cool.
Even
that's
if not,
cool.
We could post them.
Drive Shaft is, yeah, you should start doing that.
I do. I already do that.
The theories, the mysteries, the polls.
What I don't understand is the chronology of Locke telling Jack, all right, we don't want you to get hurt. You're a doctor. You go back to the beach, and I'll continue following this. And then he's gonna, but he's not gonna, and then Kate and him have an emotional conversation.
In which Jack is just an asshole. He's like, why don't you just fucking not lie to me anymore, Kate?
It becomes like a will they or won't they kind of thing.
Like two different.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Classic Ross and Rachel.
Watching the show Lost. This is something that,
they're real Sam and Diane.
Classic Bart and Lisa.
Episode aired in which
gross. That's Shannon and Boone.
Much more in the direction of people who are watching the show for character resolution.
But then Locke is like, go back to the beach, and then he's like, Jack, come here, and then he found one of
the show. The resolution
Charlie's
of the show is very much
the L on the tape. He's like, oh, all right, we should follow it.
What was the point
after he told him to go
Dark UFO
back to the beach? He's like, nah, we're back in this because I found a thing.
Yeah.
And then Jack finds another one, and Locke is like, "No, we're not following this." It's just I don't know what Locke. Locke, you just seem very inconsistent.
I think he just likes to be contrarian. Or maybe he just wants to go it alone this whole time.
He's trying to be alone the whole time. He's like, Boone, leave me alone. Jack, leave me alone. I want to be alone.
It's another classic thing on this island where people really like to go into dangerous situations with people and then go, you guys all turn back. We're at the end. I'm going to do this crazy thing on my own.
We've been walking for 6 hours. It's getting dark now. You better head back to the beach so you can get there before it's completely
on your own.
Dark. Yeah.
There's just a crazy guy kidnapping people out. You just go, here's a flashlight. The flashlight will help you. Like, come on.
Oh, I thought Boone was going to die in this episode for a second when they started talking about the red shirt thing, the Star Trek red shirt thing.
Well, you think that was foreshadowing for him dying eventually?
Probably, but I was like, oh my god, is this the episode? I didn't even...
So I think we built up quite a large audience.
I'm sure the episode he dies is a big Boone episode.
Viewers who weren't there.
Yeah, they give the silent 24 clock at the end of it, even though it's not an episode of 24.
Yeah, why does Michael say... There's a part where I think Locke is back at the camp right before they go out for like the last time and before they're gone the longest. And they're talking to Michael, and then Locke leaves and Walt's like, Locke rocks, and Michael's like jealous, and then Michael says, I might not be a warrior, but I am going south. What does that mean?
Yeah, it was very strict. I mean,
he's saying I might not be this Locke who you look up to, but I am going to do this, even if I'm not a warrior. I kind of get the impression that Michael hates Walt, his son, hates him.
Yeah, he seems like a mean guy.
How soon does Walt get disappeared, you know?
Soon, I guess.
And also, Michael is just such... And when I watched it the first time, I liked Michael. I think Michael is not a good person at any episode that I've seen at this point.
I mean, he ends up doing something...
How did we not see it coming that he was a traitor? How do we... Not Michael, the guy who was mean and standoffish and yelling at everybody all the time. And then wildly emphatic about Walt.
That was rooted to the bottom.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, and then right when I saw Sawyer,
you're right. I do have a lot of feelings.
I wrote down Sawyer rocks right when I saw Sawyer.
Sawyer and Walt were a great combo.
Yep. And then Sawyer's talking about Charlie, and he calls him, this is so cool, a reject from VH1's Has-Beens. He's not even on VH1's Has-Beens. He's a reject from VH1's Has-Beens. That's pretty cool.
His VH1's Has-Beens a show?
I don't think so.
We should cut this part out and pitch it.
I feel like they've had a lot of shows that basically are has-beens on VH1, but it was called something else.
Yeah.
One of the things that was more clear to me when I was reading up on the site.
Obviously, it's because I couldn't have said the real name of the show.
Like I said, I was actively avoiding the website just because... maybe I had this idea that you go to it and
it's Flavor of Rock?
Spoilers on
Flavor of Rock.
Obviously, you were very
speaking of rock, kind of.
That, but I
liked what Christian said. Being hard on you is how you make soft metal into steel.
I have to imagine
what? You fucking weirdo! What a weird way.
Is that how you make steel?
Damon Lindelof, in which
I thought you make it by hammering.
I think some of them.
Yeah, I mean, he also probably hammered Jack.
The explicit spoilers.
What do you hammer? Do you hammer soft metal, and then eventually it's hard?
Well, I'll tell you what, Christian.
I thought you mixed metals.
I'm curious how you felt from your end.
Pools of like silver stuff.
You had to melt it down and then mix them and having in a big thing.
You're not.
And sometimes a guy will fall into it, and it'll
kind of having this broader conversation
muckraking about it.
At the old foundry.
You're doing for
look, I don't know,
but I tell you what,
and then sometimes you're like Tony Hawk and you skateboard on like the rim of the cauldron thing while it's happening. They do like a kickflip McTwist. You like there's letters floating around. You grab them, you get 100 points. What's that, Chris?
Well, I tell you what, I don't know about all this steel business, but speaking of hammered. Christian Shepard, he was hammered when he did that surgery.
Someone out there gets
nice.
And then I wrote down why are lab coats white?
Before pre-production that happens on them.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone just sits through them.
So you can see when there's blood on them.
But they sit through them.
So you see, like, I gotta wash it. There's blood on this.
Time points on
maybe
the
it's. I would say that kidding, but maybe that's it.
To sort of cut
I thought, but then like, what if then you can't go to lunch after you get blood on your laptop?
He went to lunch before.
No, but let's say he had surgery that morning and then was going out to lunch.
He went to breakfast.
You think you wear your lab coat to brunch?
Yeah.
Yeah, how
you're gonna change? Who are you, Madonna on the Vogue tour? You're gonna change 3 times a day?
Madonna was always wearing a lab coat to brunch on the Vogue tour. Change it 3 times a day. That doesn't seem like that much, Tim. It seems like anybody in a play would put on a pair of clothes, go to the theater, wear a costume, change out of that costume and put on another pair of clothes.
The original pair of clothes. That's 2 outfits, Jeff.
Well, it's okay. All right. I don't know. Maybe you got nightwear.
It was a full blow-by.
Maybe you want to wear a suit because you got a lavish discotheque to go to.
You and I have very different lives.
Twist at the end.
When they're
we did meet at that same discotheque.
When they're in the office, when Jack or Christian's trying to convince Jack to sign that thing, and Christian is standing in front of that giant window, I just kept envisioning somebody falling past him, like the Hurley episode.
Every time there's a window, somebody just falls past.
This guy lost fan.
Yeah. Shame it didn't happen.
Was able to warn a lot of the other bigger sites.
Okay, what did Saeed do? Saeed is like hiding.
Saeed got abducted by Rousseau, and he's freaked out.
Try and get some semblance of a warning out there.
We've watched since it's happened. I'm pretty sure.
These spoilers are coming out.
Where's he going?
And what we did
Where's Chris going?
A
lot of visual humor on this week's episode.
We released
I wrote, what game is Walton Hurley? Backgammon, question mark? But Tim said it earlier, so now I know that.
Because there are...
I think it was backgammon. It was a backgammon board.
Yeah.
Hurley and Walt together were a great combo too. Walt is good with anybody, and Hurley's good with anybody.
Yeah.
We should watch episodes with those characters.
Same with Sawyer.
I mean, that's the equivalent of when...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Sawyer's good. Oh, we should watch Long Con next week.
Oh, that's the best.
Just watch a good episode. A good app.
Let's save Long Con for when I'm there.
Character dies.
Okay.
And they were going around screaming it at people while they were waiting in line to buy this book. And
Timothy?
It is funny.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's so horrible.
You guys should invite me on for that episode.
We might be able to have you back. There might be room.
So, I mean, that's why we try to be as careful as we could. I still don't know to this day.
When they're playing backgammon, Hurley... okay, so Walt says something about how...
perspective why they would feel the way they did. But
Tim has something really funny written down. I wouldn't want my surgeon operating with his dad, who he hates, in the same room staring at him.
Would be just a random post that had every
That's before I knew that Jack was taking over for him. I thought, like...
slowly
he was just like... The lady was in for, like, routine surgery. And he's like, do you mind if my... overbearing father sits in and stares at me and makes me real nervous.
I despise him.
Yeah, I mean, that was
sorry, Chris.
Anyway.
Oh, I was just going to say that when they're playing backgammon, Walt drops that he has 2 dads, basically. And Hurley's like, game over, and he just gets up and he walks away. He is not cool with that at all.
But it was just the magnitude of this one.
What? I thought it was game over after 17th place.
He kind of stormed off.
He still stuck around, and then once he found out, what? Your childhood was questionable. I don't know. I got enough friends on this island.
Okay, so then Jack hears Claire screaming in the woods.
Oh my god, the reaction! I wish I wrote down the time code. Hopefully you've watched this. The reaction Jack and Kate have to Claire's scream is horrendously performed.
But Kate doesn't even hear it. She's like, what? And then she just starts running after Jack. And Jack's like the worst climber in the whole world, trying to get up this hill. And then he just falls all the way down once he gets to the top. And then Ethan beats the damn crud out of him.
Oh, you must have liked that. You got to see Jack get the shit beaten out of him.
No, I mean, it made me sad.
They'd actually got off the island, which no one...
Yeah? I was honestly a little on edge and a little scared of Ethan for a second there. I was like, that's a scary guy.
To be laying down and have somebody stepping.
This person was and what their motivations were, because for yourself, there's
Yeah, stepping on your what is that? There, your core.
Like there's sort of.
Your clavicle's like up here, your collarbone. This is what your sternum.
I want to say sternum. But Jack pulls off some sort of ridiculous move where he kind of throws Ethan by his foot into the rock. But then Ethan
still beats the shit out of him.
It's like karate master.
I could believe that Jack would do that because I bet Jack takes like karate stuff. He's look, love or hate Jack. He's a good-looking guy and he's got some mussies.
He's got some mussies.
The fact he had it for he also.
Okay, so then they find Charlie hanging out in the tree. Just dang.
Can you get hung in a tree and not die? Like,
it wasn't around his neck, was it? It was just around his like arm.
He was actually watching the episode.
I thought it was around his neck.
Me too. I thought it was a noose.
I thought it was around like all of it, but I think like as long as the impact from like the fall, like if they just hang you up from it, like you're gonna like lose consciousness and stuff, but like your neck's not gonna snap.
Right.
Okay. Impact of
all right.
So I think he like wasn't breathing and maybe cut off the blood flow to his head and stuff.
Okay. Like how do you
it
feel
didn't
about that?
cause some sort of like immediate death.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I was very all right.
And then Jack is just like beating the crap out of Charlie to try to save his life, just pounding on his chest.
Yeah, trying to get his heart started, and Kate, after 15 seconds, it's like, it's not gonna work, let's stop!
She just can't even watch anymore, she runs away.
Where's Shannon?
Let's go find some food.
That's crazy. But for me, the best thing...
Parched.
So this is the first time I've seen Jack actually do something in an episode. He saves Charlie's life, legitimately.
A lot of those
he talked to Rose in that one episode.
Of the site and Dark UFO.
So that's two things he's done.
Rose
reluctantly talked to Rose.
Yeah, but Rose taught him more than he taught her.
I'm very proud of it. It was a lot of work at the time, an awful lot of fun.
You're right, I can't deny that.
Yep.
And also, Ethan warned him that if he kept coming after them, he'd do that to Charlie. You could argue that if Jack had listened to Ethan, they wouldn't have done that to Charlie.
Quickly going back to the finale, I always said to myself, if anyone
did they keep coming after him?
Damon, Carlton, any of the ABC execs.
Okay. I was wondering what point of the journey that was.
Ethan beat up Jack, and then Jack's like, "Well, I'm not going back to the beach. We gotta get them."
Never actually.
Which honestly, that's a fair reaction. When a pregnant woman is being kidnapped by somebody who just like beat the shit out of you, why would you assume they're being taken care of if this man is so mean?
But they were.
They were. Great doctor.
Look,
ironically, by another doctor on the island. So if Jack got killed by Ethan, they'd be fine. Locke wouldn't have to worry.
Sorry, Jeff. I don't assume the worst about everybody I meet all the time.
I do.
They kidnap a pregnant lady. It's for nefarious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, most reasons are sometimes nefarious.
Most reasons?
Photos or leaked videos.
Do you like when Kate was climbing the tree? Because I feel like the last episode we watched, Kate was climbing a tree and said, "I've climbed worse trees." And I thought,
looking back now,
maybe this is the tree she was talking about because she was doing a bad job. How did she cut him down? No way. Swing his carcass.
Carlton and Damon and folks involved in that show.
I'll take some swipes at it.
As much as they
and then at one point we cut back and they're having like a deposition with Christian and Jack.
That show. We
were like way into pizza at this point.
Yeah,
I have no notes for this.
That was.
I honestly didn't write anything down about this.
People got upset with how many times.
Jack sold his dad out.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I'm glad he did that.
And Kate's relationship, but that's.
All right, let's be honest. So you think that was the right thing to do? I feel like it happened. Don't sell your dad out.
Watching because they wanted to see who
got
got with who, and that was the secret sauce of that show.
She also had a baby in her
audience, but
why was that the thing that makes it so much worse?
As much as they hated seeing that stuff show up,
like,
it was also a testament.
I mean, a person who had many loved ones and a lot of people who care about them died, but a baby also died, and that's like, no, that's it, man. Why is that? Is that insensitive of me to ask?
You're right. It shows the interest in the show.
Getting pretty political, if you ask me.
Have you ever had another show?
I mean, because like, when is life really like? Is it at conception, or is it like? Once you feel a heartbeat,
that's a very different beast to something like Lost.
Oh, brother!
If I was pregnant, I would freak out because I'm a guy and that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for that one time.
It was a mysterious show.
Junior.
Yeah, but I would freak out if that happened. I'd just be like,
it was also
I'm gonna die.
It was just building up and picking up.
It's probably true.
I was invested
nowhere for it to come out.
Sites about the show.
I think there's ever been a guy that's been pregnant. We're going way off topic.
No, I can't
Chris,
say I've.
You're talking about that meeting.
Oh, I just to mention that he sold his dad out, but
being in the UK, I was up to 3, 4 in the morning to watch
I mean, I can't knock him for it, but I wouldn't have been able to knock him if he went the other way.
They have like a bad relationship too, so it seemed like it was hard for him to do that. It felt.
I feel like it seemed like it was fucking spiteful. He like sold him out because he was like, "Oh, like you anyway, Dad, suck it."
Through a torrent the next morning. That was
no, I think if it was another dude, he wouldn't have thought twice about selling him out immediately on the spot.
Yeah, you're totally right. I'm just a big old dummy.
At 8 p.m.
No, hey Jeff, come on, man.
2 a.m. And then work through for about 8 hours afterwards.
That's cool that they find the hatch by carelessly throwing around fucking flashlights at a rainstorm in a forest with a predator on the loose.
That's the hatch, right?
Show too, for you to have to watch that.
He's like, let me huck you this flashlight in the rain. Whoops, it slipped.
So this is the first instance of the flash.
But yeah, the next morning,
the
first flash hatch. Flash.
I would download
it was the first instance of it.
Nice, very
some
cool.
dodgy torrent site somewhere, so I could watch it in full HD and actually.
All right, you have anything else? This podcast just flew by. We're like 40 minutes in.
Yeah, let's do some segments. The other segments, our classic segments.
We have. Do we have any unanswered questions?
Well, I guess before I let you go, are there any other stories that stand out from
just about what was the deal with Jack Shepard or Stephen Christian Shepard?
Kind of sits in your mind.
Okay, so we already answered that one.
Yeah,
I think the only major thing
okay, Lostopedia.
Okay,
let's do this.
Someone made a store just for me. Someone has my kind of
Hi, Chris.
Oh, Lostopedia. Here we go.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh, I had so much to say.
I wish I'd
just
kept
one
some of these
second
emails.
ago. Here's something that is boring, not interesting. This episode marks the first time a character has a second episode, excluding the pilot devoted to them.
Thanks, Chris. Next.
In 2006, rock band Senses Fail named a song on their sophomore album, Still Searching, after this episode.
I know that because
that first introduction,
because I was looking up this and it showed up. That was one of the other things that showed up, aside from all the best cowboys of Chinese eyes.
What are the lyrics?
Hold on, I'm just gonna dig this up real quick. Let's talk about anything.
Okay, while you're doing that, I also.
All right. Number one, best Letterman replacement.
Is it spoilers.tv?
You know, Craig Ferguson, it's in his contract that he gets.
Yeah, but he's. That would not be cool.
I was on the side of
I would not want to watch
plague.
That.
You're fine. Whatever. Do you ever watch the shows?
Really fascinating. So I really appreciate your time and good luck with everything in the future.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, take care.
Oh, thank you so much to Andy Page for his time. That was a very cool interview.
Chris has taken his headphones off.
I can't even say that. That was a really cool interview. I can't wait to hear him at it. Yeah, good work, Patrick.
I don't think anybody expected that song to sound like that.
You said a lot of really interesting stories to share.
I have nothing bad to say.
So one of the ones that he talks about
very diplomatic
in the interview is when he got his first real spoiler
when
dump.
Walt tells Sawyer about Ethan, a microphone boom pole briefly appears on the upper edge of the screen during Sawyer's line. Okay, then it must be true.
In the TV community spoiler.
Can you believe it?
Whoa. Yeah, wish I saw it.
When Jack,
do you see that shit when you're watching movies and stuff?
I saw that. The only time I've ever seen that I noticed it was in the movie Lars and the Real Girl. I saw a boom mic in it when I saw it in the theater, and I was like, The hell?
message board
You gotta be
thread
kidding me.
about Lost. And then he contacted
I saw it on an episode of Mary Hartman that I watched the other day.
What is that?
It's a really weird Norman Lear show from the 70s.
I'll put it on my website. And from Annie's perspective, he knew this stuff was going to
in the pilot episode.
So
it's if I could make, is this a recommendation section? I recommend Mary Hartman.
Put it out in small chunks, right? Like a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit the day after. And in Andy's mind, he was actually doing the show like a solid, because the alternative was that weeks in advance the entire plot was known and searchable on the internet.
Yes.
And Andy was able to mitigate
okay, so there's
that
it says cultural references. All the best cowboys have Chinese eyes.
Andy says
the title of the episode is an allusion to this album by rock star Pete Townsend. Specifically, this is a reference to a story inside the album jacket, which tells a tale of leadership and sacrifice in a crisis. Quote, a natural leader emerged. The most remarkable thing about him was his eyes. Somehow they arrived alive. Somehow they found the broken bottle trail without help. All stars, great and small, shine under God.
Yeah,
all the best cowboys
it's
have
a Sal Jack
Chinese
episode.
I kind of think this.
You know what? I don't know why I assumed that he was that was a negative thing. All the best cowboys have Chinese eyes. I don't know why I was so up in arms about it.
I think just the phrase Chinese eyes kind of feels a little.
So you think that guy that he's talking about might not have been?
Yeah, I think
no.
So much like DNA.
Yeah, but I think he's not.
Which is what we've gotten in the last couple episodes.
Very well,
right? It's kind of been back to back, like just high octane. If you know where the show is going,
you know, when you have your like teeth and you're like going like, yeah, I'm making that face real hard.
You know, like the thing that happens in the last couple of seconds of the episode.
Guys, it was a different time.
Oh, buddy, like you just get excited because you know where all that stuff goes, and where the show is at its point is just like, you know.
Because when are we?
The peak of the mountain, and like you just don't
this was
know
the 79th best episode by somebody.
Let's get the Jack stuff out of the way.
Who was rating the shows? That's what I found.
I think all the, as usual, like all the story stuff was way more solid.
So that's right in the middle. Anything else, Chris? Those are actually pretty good.
That's like he gets called.
Do you guys not mention the number references because they're so lame?
I don't mention them because I didn't notice them. What'd you pick out?
Because the
you've been on this podcast before.
Yeah, the amount of times if I were running the show here, I'd be like, look, I know anytime they need to do something, they'd be like, why don't you do that?
I don't
12 times instead of
13. That's related to
like, oh, we need a license plate. Nah, why don't we make it this number? So I don't like give it too much credence. But when Jack is trying to revive Charlie, he hits him in the chest 23 times.
No.
After seeming to give up, he begins hitting Charlie and again and hits him 9 more times before he regains his breath.
Well, 9
isn't a number though.
No,
it's 31.
No.
Yeah, so
and 23 plus 9 isn't 31.
The 32?
Yes. No, 42.
42.
Sometimes mistaken for 32 by me when I'm thinking about the numbers. So it kind of counts.
I learned I'm bad at math just now.
Yeah, there's no way you were as good as at math as when you were a kid.
It's a high-pressure situation.
It is. I've done those Lumosity games where you do math real quick.
Right,
bad at it. Bad at the math.
Really bad at it too. But I feel like I'm getting better at it.
Like when you're
Well, I mean, you're doing them every day. It's like practicing.
They actually
like practicing snowboarding.
You know, sympathy for both sides.
Lost my report card.
Lost my report card. Oh wait, back to the mailbag.
He's a flawed
back to the mailbag. Oh, there's a long app. Let's do this.
More good than bad. He has screwed up. Where back to the mailbag. One surgery back to the mailbag.
First, we have an email from Jonathan Bird. He's been working on a Back to the Island drinking game.
And then you like compound that on top of
which you could do this with alcohol, or if you don't drink, you could do it with milk, and then someone will still throw up.
Or if you're
a son betraying his father.
Some people are lactose intolerant.
What do you do?
It just has like a lot of really
iced tea,
meaty, interesting stuff.
Okay. Like a lot of
Long Island ice.
Having to rat their father out
from that Dunkin' Donuts in Long Island.
You can sympathize with the idea of like having to stand up to an authority figure that you feel conflicted about.
Sometimes I just wish I wasn't talking. I mean, good. That whole conversation. Here's what you do: sip if Jeff says fuck. I curse a lot, huh?
I guess so.
Up to the fact that he
someone mentions how awesome Hurley is. We got some sips in this one. Someone mentions how awful Jack is. We got a lot of sips in this one. A commentator calls the scene incorrectly. I'm gonna say you have no sips in this one. Jeff complains about or insults the audience.
Christian Shepard has been doing this.
Fuck you, Jonathan Bird.
This is a circular, familiar conversation.
Do a shot if you have no clue who special guest is.
Roasted, Tim.
Oh, Lord. Yeesh.
Oh, it's not. I mean,
there's a reason it sounds so compelling.
Jeff says, spoiler alert.
Out of his mouth.
Chris says, I don't remember. Nothing but laughter for more than 10 seconds. You're thinking about Jack. I don't want the doctor operating on me with his dad. Episode being reviewed receives a 42. That's as much as spoiler alert. Okay. Chris has an interesting or off the wall theory.
Hey, interesting. You're going to be taking a lot of shots.
And
thanks, Jonathan Bird. We'll put this up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/podcast Back to the Island. Thanks, man.
We don't need
hey, if you're gonna play that drinking game, don't do it
before you have surgery.
Don't do it in a car while you're driving either.
Like being a real dick to
don't do it at lunch.
Yeah, don't do it at lunch. Yeah, because the odds that you'll get called into surgery are just too great.
And then your son's gonna ruin your career.
It's very condescending.
So be safe, everybody. All right. We have a long email coming up from Colette Cunningham. Hello, I am so glad you guys are doing this. I used to be all about loss, and it's super sweetly nostalgic hearing you guys banter about it. I feel like it was an old friend that I had a huge falling out with after the finale, but forgot how much I love the characters and how much it made you think, overanalyze. So for better or for worse, here are my thoughts. Then she stops talking about me, so I'm like...
She has a lot of thoughts. They're very nice. We can't possibly read them on here.
You get the sense right off the beginning.
What was the most interesting one, Jeff?
Totally disoriented.
You had one. You said I've got one.
Pushing himself really hard.
Okay, all right. We'll read.
Sorry, Colette. Sorry, Colette Cunningham.
Zoom in somehow.
Even if you remove that Jack seems to be
maybe I'm lying. Yeah.
You are the only
like that. You mean?
Thank you. All right. Okay. Do you guys recall a reason that everyone is
skirmish to occur,
calling Kate out for running away from her problems? Why wouldn't you go do something? There is clearly nothing else to be doing there that they are aware of just yet. Why doesn't anyone? There's just a bunch of questions.
When Locke and Jack were first going after Ethan, in which
but this is she read your mind, Jeff.
Yeah, why doesn't anyone question Michael? He's the one that isn't completely psyched to be. He's the one with the kid there that isn't completely psyched to be there with him. Not saying kids are a problem, they kind of are, but in reality, he's blatantly Michael's problem, and Michael is leaving him with son.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Michael stinks. I think we all agree.
Do you think Locke actually killed that boar? I thought that the monster killed it for him, so I was confused how he managed to get covered in blood. I thought it was just part of it being mysterious, creepy poser, like what you're saying, Chris.
I love it. Thank you, Colette.
Like, is this really
the sound of Locke's computer or receipt printer was also the monster's approach?
Wow. I guess it's this idea.
That's crazy.
Wow. I mean, at the surface
at the box factory.
Jack.
Did you notice that? No, me like
I mentioned that it sounded like a dot matrix printer, and you guys laughed. You laughed at me, and then this other guy.
He said in a funny voice.
It's like I don't even know who that guy is. Why is he even on your show?
You can tie in.
Never heard of him.
Wow.
He's too drunk to remember who you are.
Too drunk.
Too many lunches.
I'm gonna ruin Jonathan Bird's career. I'll tell you that
much. Real quick, William Leary will put this in the comments in the SoundCloud. We'll put it on the Facebook page. Posted a video. The Lost crew got together recently and talked about Lost after it happened. You think it was a coincidence? It happened after Back to the Island aired?
Earlier, like when Jack and
it was to coincide with the 10th anniversary of the show.
Stepping back. letting people.
It was not a coincidence. No, it was not a coincidence that it happened.
But yeah, this is the cast members of Lost explaining what happened on Lost in 30 seconds.
And I've watched it, and they have no idea what they're talking about. They're just going, it was a crazy time.
Bro, Shannon rocks. Jack rocks.
We all got DUIs.
That's probably where I.
Oh my God, Shannon looks crazy in that video. Her hair. Everybody watch that video. The actress who plays Shannon, her hair is everywhere.
Maggie Grace, possibly?
Yes.
Is it Maggie Grace?
Her hair is everywhere.
Jack on the island and Jack's father.
Her hair is everywhere. Also, Matt Smith mentioned that there's something called Chronologically Lost,
He made it all about himself.
which they watched Lost from. I don't understand what they're saying. So he's saying they watch it chronologically, but it's like one episode.
No, they take all of like everything that happened from like the 1800s, and if it happened in the 1800s, that's the first thing that happened, and then next and next and next. Everything in the 70s happens. Everything in the 80s.
They did 120 episodes of that.
Really like Jack
Holy
as a protagonist,
shit!
And I like him as like a leading man. And
Kevin Radcliffe just says something nice. Loving this podcast. It's the perfect amount of casual. It feels like me and my friends talking about Lost, forgetting everything and just making things up that sound right. Fuck everyone who gets mad if you guys are wrong. I think it makes it better. That is just a big old backhanded compliment email, huh? Thanks, Kevin Radcliffe. Thanks a lot.
God, what a confusing email.
Let's hear your fucking podcast.
Oh, they do.
Dick.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for writing.
Thanks for writing, Kevin. I just want to make people have to drink now. All right, last my report card. We're an hour and 5 minutes in.
What is it? 4, 8, 15, 16.
And we learned that
20.
Kate
if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you.
Father was, I think, of the.
I lost my report card.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
I give this a 15.
Yeah, and anyway,
it was fine. It was a pretty good episode. I wouldn't say it was amazing, and there was nothing that was just like crazy shit happening. But I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. I give it a 15.
I as well give it a 15. Jack, kind of a casual experience watching it. Nothing too crazy happened. I got excited when I thought Boone was gonna die, but he didn't. So it was just like kind of like whatever. Nothing crazy really happened.
Like running ahead, being
whole lot of foreshadowing. I thought Charlie. I forgot how Charlie got out of that situation. I was just like, wait, did Charlie I forgot he got revived or died. I was like, maybe this is a flashback.
Brings up. What the hell is going on?
But still, it didn't happen.
It does reward Jack
Tim Daniels.
all the time for running
this might be a first.
Yep.
I think people had to finish the bottle of whatever they're drinking, because I too give it a 15.
3 for 3's day.
Ding 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 ding. Oh, play the 3 for 3 theme song.
You got a 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3's day. 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 1, 2, 3.
Which connected directly to the flashback because early on where Jack takes over and Jack is unwilling.
Got it.
At least initially.
Got it, Chris.
Give up.
And he eventually goes, you call it. Right?
Yeah, he tells his father to call.
All right. Cool. Well, now that we've heard the 3 for 3's day.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you watched?
Cool. Thanks a lot for listening. Again, we have a live podcast. It'll be a lot of fun if you come and watch it. And you guys can do that drinking game, I guess, if you drink, or like if you don't drink. That's dangerous. It does some water, a little bit of water every day. Makes you feel good.
Yeah, keeps you hydrated. Everybody should just stay hydrated.
But yeah, April 25th, Union Hall, unionhallny.com for tickets.
It wasn't going to shock
Twitter, it's at Back to the Island. Facebook.com/podcast Back to the Island. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes.
Hey,
we got it all.
There are going to be characters on the show.
See you in hell.
Bye. And they really, they take it about as far as you can take the implication that he's actually dead before they kind of bring him back from the brink. Even watching it, it's unnerving, the amount of time.
Welcome to the apology section.
Jack actually gives up.
I don't know. This is a maybe apology.
Tells Kate, when Kate says to stop trying to work on
Pete Townsend, if you're listening to this, if your album title was meant to be a reference to the strong character of a Chinese man, then I'm sorry that we thought you meant something else. However, if you just think all Asian people are Chinese people, you are crazy and you're the worst. And I take my apology back. Times two.
You're gonna have the
you
best
burnt
viewing experience.
Pete Townsend.
What's the thing about Pete Townsend? He had a bunch of child porn on his computer, but he said it was for research.
Punching Charlie in the chest.
Yeah, that happened.
That's hard to believe, Pete Townsend.
Early instance of the life and death theme.
Well, when I worked,
His apologies really going off the rails.
When I worked at a book company, and I feel like I might have sent you these pictures too.
That I like about how that ends.
I had to like scan in old books and
Life and death theme.
yeah, I'd scan in old books and touch up the photos and stuff. And some of them were like form drawings, so it would be stuff like a naked man jumping over a hurdle, or like weird stuff like that. And several of them were naked kids doing stuff. And it really bummed. Well, obviously, I never sent that in the email. I thought maybe it was one of the funny ones.
Which I thought was
isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I thought that told me a lot about what kind of show
Just saying.
was going to be. That they're in this episode and they don't.
I have an apology.
Good.
Okay.
To anybody
it's not all tightly resolved. Like it's actually kind of uncomfortable.
I guess
that
just like
back
Jezebel readers or whatever.
Well,
who thought that maybe
they're still out there. Didn't figure that one out.
And they actually
apology. No. Just anybody. Look, I don't think that a white male should necessarily replace David Letterman.
When he gets in the fight with Ethan,
I was merely complaining about the fact that was like the first line in so many of the blog posts about David Letterman retiring instead of reflecting on his wonderful career.
Was it on Jezebel?
First viewing of the show.
I think so. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like, you know what? That apology, I'll take it. I don't think you need it. You explained it enough.
Look, I'm happy to see anybody.
Joan Rivers had a talk show.
She did.
Rosie O'Donnell had a talk show.
Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres currently.
Did Rosie O'Donnell have a late night talk show though? No. Was it just Joan Rivers?
Yeah.
That didn't go well. I mean,
W. Kamau Bell had my favorite of the late night talk shows, and he got canceled.
You got that impression?
Yeah, they definitely.
Look, guys.
This is where they make the
some of my favorite.
You get a little bit of this.
Some of my favorite talk show hosts are not white males. So there you go.
He's a very imposing.
All the best cowboys of talk shows
is someone to be feared, and they spend a lot of time in the cinematography just like establishing.
See you. And
some weirdness we're starting to see on the island, like that. He would be like potentially supernatural or superhuman in some way. It's not necessarily seen outside the realm of where the show seems to be headed. It's a brutal fight. This is like 3 different times. His head slammed against the ground in the middle of the rain.
So let's just do the B story really quick, and we'll jump to the thing at the end, which is the most.
I do want to say this episode has one of my favorite.
If you didn't say back to the mailbag at gmail.com, I was gonna make it say the mailbag that was on Lost.
Yeah. Let's do the whole lock and
God, we have a lot.
Really?
That I love.
Let's just do a couple.
I agree. That's
okay.
Good
this is email from Mike Campbell.
So the B story is mostly.
We can talk about that for a second. On the last episode, I mentioned that you and Mike Campbell were on tour one time and came to Florida, and that night you downloaded the most recent episode of Lost and watched it. And I was saying we should watch that with Mike.
One of my favorite.
And he figured out what episode it was and everything. So I think that's going to happen.
So the Walton Sawyer one.
Was that for the podcast?
Trying to be a tough guy,
what I just said,
or was it? Yes.
Who got taken by what?
Okay.
Sorry.
I think Ethan took.
That's going to be a bonus clip.
Alrighty, Tattoo. Where do you think Ethan came from?
Maybe he was already on the island before we were.
Got yourself one hell of an imagination, kid.
There could be lots of other people on the island.
So a tribe of evil natives planted a ringer in the camp to kidnap a pregnant girl and a reject from VH1 has-beens. Yeah, fiendishly clever. And why am I getting the evening news from a 6-year-old?
I'm 10.
Okay.